Live in high definition from the CBS 4 studios, this is CBS 4 Daybreak.
Next on CBS 4 Daybreak, an arrest is made.
This is a monster. Who would go out with low humidity and high wind and the highest heat temperatures this time of the year and intentionally set the forest on fire?
The man being accused of starting the largest wildfire in California history will be in court later today. We'll have more on that at the top of the show.
And interrogation insights.
Well, what does it tell you to do?
Burn, kill, destroy.
Newly released video shows Parkland shooting suspect Nicholas Cruz being interrogated by police. We've got more on what Cruz now says made him kill 17 of his classmates. That's coming up in about half an hour.
Good morning and thank you for choosing CBS 4 Daybreak. I'm Alyssa Meisner.
And I'm Nate Barrett. Take a look at this incredible video. We are seeing massive wildfires scorch parts of the Golden State.
The man accused of starting California's holy fire is behind bars. Investigators say the accused arsonist lives in the rugged canyon where the fire started. CBS 4 Daybreak's Michelle Gile reports.
I'm upset with him right now. I'm really upset. I mean, that it took everything I had.
Suspect Forrest Clark's neighbor in Holy Jim Canyon is talking about the alleged arsonist, her dramatic rescue, and a possible motive for the devastating wildfire that is in its third day.
I have to say I'm not surprised. However, I just feel terrible that this has all gone down. There's a lot of canyon politics, unfortunately, and I don't want to say too much because I don't really know everything.
And now Amanda Guillen joins us to talk a little bit more about the conditions firefighters will be facing.
Definitely a lot of that heat and a lot of the reason why wildfires start in the first place is because of low vegetation, a lot of brush. So let's go ahead and talk about that right now on why these wildfires happen. Really, they can happen anywhere, not just in California. Dry vegetation, low wind and humidity, also big proponents for fire to start. Remember, a heat source is needed, fuel, oxygen. A lot of times these are man-made fires. So for us here in our borderland area, you have to keep in mind, out in Cloudcroft, Ruidoso, a lot of strong winds because of the mountain areas. So remember that this is very important for us to know as well here in our borderland areas.
Now let's take a look at top stories from around the country this morning. The U.S. imposing new sanctions against Russia for violating the international chemical weapons ban. The White House says the move is in response to the nerve agent attack that targeted a Russian defector and his daughter in England. The new sanctions come despite President Trump's initiative to improve relations with the Kremlin. And authorities in New Mexico say a child abuse suspect may have been training a group of children to become school shooters. Sir Wahog and 4 other adults were arrested last week at a remote compound in New Mexico. Investigators are trying to identify a body found at the site. They believe it may be Wahog's son, who was last seen in Georgia in December. We've got more on this developing story later in the show. We'll also hear from the father of the man accused of running that compound. And Mike Pence will announce plans for a new military branch focusing on Space Force. The vice president will make a visit to the Pentagon later today. He is expected to lay out the groundwork on establishing the Space Force as a new military branch. And Paul Manafort's trial enters day 8 in Alexandria, Virginia. Former Manafort aide Rick Gates, an IRS agent, as well as an FBI accountant, were among those who took the stand yesterday.
Another earthquake has hit the resort island of Lombok in Indonesia. As of this morning, the AP is reporting more than 250 people have been killed. Officials say this quake measured a magnitude of 5.9. It comes 4 days after a 6.9 quake devastated the same resort area, killing 347 people. Relief agencies say it could be days before the full extent of the damage from the quake is known.
And brand new information right now. El Paso police have identified the people involved in a deadly wreck overnight. Special traffic investigators say Bradford Drake stopped to help Sergio Martinez after a multi-vehicle crash on MLK near Stan Roberts. Police say Jeanette Clayton hit Drake and Martinez while she was driving on MLK. Drake later died at the hospital. Martinez remains hospitalized with serious injuries. It's not known if Clayton will face any charges. And El Paso police say thieves are calling businesses demanding money. The callers say they're part of a cartel and that members are outside ready to storm the establishment if demands are not met. The callers order employees to deliver cash to another location, usually in Juarez. If you get one of these calls, do not hang up on the caller. Use another line to call 911 immediately.
Money well spent.
Where El Paso Water plans on spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to beautify some existing facilities. And what locals say about the idea. Amanda?
More rain in our forecast, but just how long will these rain chances last? And when will we see a cool down to our temperatures? That's coming up on CBS 4 Daybreak, on your side.
Well, it's a much calmer morning right now compared to yesterday. In some parts of the borderland in central El Paso, blue sunny skies turned to strong winds and blowing dust in a matter of seconds. From there, it started to sprinkle in West El Paso. Then came the powerful bolts of lightning, followed by a steady rain. Everyone we asked told us it's a nice change from the triple-digit temps we've been seeing for weeks.
Oh, right now it's very nice. Earlier today was humid. It was just like I got out of the shower when I got outside of the house.
Que el clima está bien loco. I guess it's very uncomfortable. I can't walk with my eyes wide open.
And the warm breeze is just spot on. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it was nice and sunny earlier, and then it's El Paso. Any minute it can be raining, snowing, hailing. You know, it's sunny, dust storms. We have it all right here.
Well, that wasn't the only bad weather we had yesterday. The dusty conditions could be seen in West El Paso as well. You could barely see the mountains. The clouds also made it difficult for the sun to peek through. When there's bad weather, we'd love to share your weather photos and videos. You can send them to us through Burst. Just text CBS 4 to 95577 and that will send you a link to upload the photos. Then we'll share them on our newscasts and social media pages.
I have two small dogs. One of them is terrified of thunder, and the other one will come out and watch the thunderstorms with me. It's not so bad. It sounds like more of that today.
No, more of that today and tomorrow for the next 48 hours, actually. And that's what we're going to be experiencing. And actually, the good news, it's going to bring down our temperatures significantly. We're not going to be feeling those extreme hot temperatures. We're actually going to be feeling the 80s. So believe it or not, something that a lot of El Pasoans have been looking forward to for a long time. If you take a look at your satellite and radar map, you can see the majority of that moisture really in the south. We're not going to see anything too bad for us here in the borderland. Futurecast dew points showing that the majority of the humidity is going to stick with us throughout your next, again, 24 to 48 hours. If you take a look at your expected high here in the Sun City, 95 degrees your expected high. Partly cloudy skies, not only here in El Paso, but in Las Cruces as well. 92 degrees your expected high, and all across the borderland you are seeing those upper 90s. So really going to stay with us again for the next 24 hours until we cool down tomorrow.
Thanks, Amanda. A safer city.
Where the city plans on putting some new bike lanes, how much it will cost, and where the city is getting funds, most of those funds. That's coming up on CBS 4 Daybreak, on your side. More bike lanes heading to the city of El Paso. In an effort to become more bike-friendly, the city has approved a multi-million-dollar project. This is all part of the city's comprehensive bike plan, which was approved in 2016. The specific project will be split up into two phases. The first focuses on the west and east sides of town. The second focuses on the east side. Avid cyclists we spoke with say this project is a start.
Once you see more bike lanes and you see more cyclists, I think people in El Paso will be a little more respectful and realize that we are a bike city too. And
the project costs $3.5 million. Most of the cost will be paid for with federal funding, while the city is making some contributions. Construction will start in fiscal year 2019. Well, El Paso Water is spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to beautify some existing facilities. The Mulberry Pond in the Upper Valley is next on the list. It's right next to several homes. El Paso Water says the money for the project is set aside and doesn't impact other priorities.
This isn't taken away from any stormwater drainage project or improvement project. Like those will get done. And the fact is we budget as much as we can.
The Pico Norte lift station in East El Paso was recently redone. Neighbors say it was an eyesore before.
It looked terrible. It was just like covered by regular fence. It looked like people could jump over. Anything that makes the neighborhood look pretty, it's a good investment.
The Mulberry Pond beautification is expected to take a few months.
There will soon be one more Walmart location in the Sun City. In just a week, the retail giant will open a super center in northwest El Paso. It's located on Paseo del Norte and I-10 inside the new Westtown Marketplace. And if you drive along North Mesa and West El Paso, you've likely seen crews working on the newest Boss Chicken location. And we've now learned that it'll open for the first time today at 11 a.m. It's located at Mesa and Thunderbird. It used to be the Kentucky Fried Chicken. The restaurant specializes in chicken tenders, beef hot dogs, and homemade custard. This will be the 6th Boss Chicken to open in the past year.
Well, happening now, a popular restaurant in East El Paso remains closed after a kitchen fire. The fire happened at the Los Tres Gallegos restaurant on Pebbles Hills and Lee Trevino. Firefighters say it started with a kitchen appliance and quickly spread. Thankfully, no one was inside at the time. The owners did not want to interview on camera, but they tell CBS 4 they hope to open their door within 2 weeks.
We're going to be looking to see when they opened. We live not too far from here, so we're going to keep checking.
Paso Fire says the damages are estimated to cost around $100,000.
Southwest and American are fighting for a route to Cuba, and 2 Texas cities make the list of best cities to raise a family. Jane King's at the NASDAQ with those stories and more in today's Around Texas.
Hello, Texas. Southwest and American are among those fighting for an extra Cuba route. Delta said it will stop flying in a few weeks. BizJournal says Southwest wants a service to the Cuban capital from Tampa, while American is looking to add to its Havana-Miami route. Well, Texas-based Fossil has added heart rate trackers, NFC payment, and built-in GPS to its latest wear of OS models. Fossil also reported a narrower quarterly loss than what was expected. Well, manufacturing is growing in Texas.
And we're getting one last look at the forecast. Amanda, is it more rain and clouds? It doesn't even feel like I'm in El Paso.
No, definitely. It feels more like Seattle weather on the contrary, because we're used to Sun City, sunny skies, hot temperatures. 7-day forecast, though, again, looking more like that Seattle weather. Let's go ahead and take a look at your 7-day. We are going to see 95 degrees, your expected high for today, but then we'll dip in temperature significantly by tomorrow. 83 degrees and a 60% chance of those isolated showers and thunderstorms, not only for your Friday, but for your Saturday and Sunday as well. We'll stay in the 80s until next Monday, but that's when we'll increase in temperature by your Tuesday, 92 degrees.
And before we go, we want to remind you about the major closure happening right now. It will be on I-10 West and Sunland Park Drive. Crews will close down the freeway in both directions starting at 9 tonight. And here's a live look at the area right now. You can expect it to reopen around 6 tomorrow morning.
Well, thanks so much for joining us on CBS 4 Daybreak.
For updates throughout the day, check on CBS4local.com. We'll be back for CBS 4 at noon.